Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Hallmark movies and mysteries movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark movies and mysteries movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark movies and mysteries movies, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hello, everybody.
Oh, boy.
Hello.
Can you believe it?
What a time.
Hump day.
Hump day?
Hump day.
Already?
Yeah.
Man.
Man, can you believe
We
it?
had a talking dog movie
Can you believe
to
this?
get us through the day. Yesterday, we tried the pumpkin spice frosty.
Yes.
Which means fall did happen for that day.
Which was
That one-
very
and now it's
interesting
not
because
again?
yesterday, the day that we did try it, you went on the record saying it's not fall. You did this whole rant.
CC
Yeah.
Leaves did. I didn't.
Well,
Oh,
I didn't.
you're right.
I think you're thinking of what happened in that room over there.
Yes, I am thinking. I'm conflating the two.
off
That's
the
on
air.
me. That's
Yeah.
on me. That's on me.
Yeah.
Super
So you got
good.
nothing.
Super good. I don't got nothing.
got
Super
nothing.
good.
don't give too much away about
No,
it.
no.
You
We'll
gotta
do
try
it. It'll be on the
yourself.
vlog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be. We'll
Just
do a
tease that.
special. We should do a pumpkin. I know we
Theme,
did
yeah.
record it yesterday, but we should record more and do a whole pumpkin vlog. Where we
Pumpkin
try
everything.
all
A pumpkin sword.
pumpkin everything. Pumpkin everything.
Good book.
Good movie.
It's a book.
Good
it's
movie.
a movie.
Better book. I remember.
Good movie, better book.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did both.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that
You
was
want
back
to
when
know
you were trying
what
to
I'm just
do
now
that.
realizing?
What's that?
It's not fall yet.
Don't be ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous.
What are you talking about? We had the thing yesterday.
Yeah.
Why are
You're
you
all
doing
like,
this?
It's fall. It's bleeping fall, y'all. You're really vulgar about it.
We're up on
Can't wait to recreate that tomorrow.
we're up
Bleeping
on
fall, y'all. It's fall. It's bleeping fall,
Remember
y'all.
you handed out $20
It's
bills to
fall. I
everybody?
was handing out 20 spots. It's fall.
remember that?
It's bleeping fall,
I think
y'all.
they were
Just
I
like
think they
would
were
say. It's like you're me.
I think they were hundreds actually.
You got
Not
hundreds?
20s. I think
No.
they
You
were
did get
hundreds.
hundreds.
I gave hundreds to you. You guys are employees. He's not. Just,
Oh,
let's keep that in
man.
mind. Yeah. It's company money.
Executive of the month.
Sometimes the CEO's got to make a call.
This
And then
the
you're
call
like,
was
let's go to lunch.
throw out
I'm
20s,
buying
100s.
sushi.
Sushi. Yeah.
This
Yeah, it was the whole
vlog is
thing.
going to be wild.
It's gonna be crazy. It's bleeping fall, y'all.
Yeah. And then you found Pat Sajak, which was really
You
weird.
picked him up.
You picked him up. You said, "Get in the car, Pat,"
That's right. He was lost.
and all that's going to be in the vlog.
Yeah.
all was gonna be in the vlog.
I hope
Yeah.
it comes out as faster than that KC one did. though.
We'll
That's
see.
the only thing.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
You know what they say? Mediocre things come to those that wait.
That's right.
It was great. I'm just
If you
kidding.
guys want to watch the vlog for our trip to Kansas City, you can do
It's
that.
up now.
Also, we got a new merch shop, deckthehallmark.com/shop if you want to pick up some new designs. And stay tuned on Friday for a special merch drop only for
Again?
one weekend. Nope, this one weekend.
That's right.
It is only for
That's it. There's
the
no
weekend.
other time you can order it. That's it.
Do you want to know what I'm just now realizing?
yeah.
We're like this week?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
it is
like
this
not
week.
not
It is
We
this
are
week.
like this week.
Yeah.
You just
Bro.
we're
Brian,
like
Brian,
this
it's your
week.
1 year anniversary
This week?
of doing the show. It was like
Oh,
you
what
started Bramblefest after Bramblefest last year.
Man, I had a great idea
Yeah.
for Brian's 1 year.
Was that right?
And I blew it.
Well,
And
let's
I
talk it
I
through.
literally
Oh,
never
man.
told anyone about it.
Oh, I love
had
that.
it driving in a truck, and I was like, "This is going to be the best thing
In a
ever."
truck?
And
Was
and
it your truck
it was
or a
my
different truck? Okay.
And
It's a dream.
I stole a truck.
Interesting.
And
You blamed me.
and I this was months ago, and then I forgot all about it.
Yeah. That's a great idea, Dan.
Yeah, I know, right?
Are you going to tell us?
It would have taken quite a bit of coordination.
Okay, so it's not going to happen.
Maybe
So
for
why,
next year.
why don't you just tell us?
Like if we had set up to where we had all these confetti things that could
Yeah.
explode,
Uh-huh.
right? And we just didn't tell Brian, so
Yeah.
we were doing this like right now.
And they all go
We're just
off.
like, oh, it's 1 year.
Oh,
isn't it,
come
Brian?
on.
Let's give him a
Marching.
quick hand, and then all of it exploded
Oh,
at
yeah.
once, like all over the place.
Yep.
That would have been great.
that would have been great.
Marching
So
band
imagine
comes
that.
in.
Could we go back and could we?
Let me just. Oh yeah. Oh, that's funny.
That's
Yeah.
good, right?
Man, that made
That's
a
good.
mess.
And,
What?
and people say it's the thought that counts, and
Yeah.
I'm testing
Good
that
thought.
theory right now.
Yeah, there's the vacuum.
Get to it.
1 year.
Hey, thanks.
I don't know if
Give
it's
me
like
that
on the
box.
date, but
No, I don't think it is.
1 year ish.
Yeah, we're beyond a year.
You're beyond. Yeah, it was it was before this.
Yeah.
It was the weekend before September, before Labor Day, right?
I thought he started after Bramblefest.
Yeah, Bramblefest was in August.
Oh, I thought Bramblefest was in September.
No, Bramblefest was in August.
Yeah.
Sorry,
We're right there.
We're way past. We are at least 3 weeks past a year for him.
Great.
Yep.
But
So we did it.
But you know what?
You're
Thanks, guys.
important, Brian, and we love you.
You wonder why I don't
Happy-
show up here anymore.
Happy 55 weeks, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
that's the old milestone.
55 and a 52.
Speaking of 55 and a 52, we're mere days away from the Christmas schedule coming out.
Yeah.
Just days at this point.
Maybe.
It could be this week. It's probably next week.
I already told you when it's going to be.
You did.
21st.
You did it. You said it on the
Coming
show.
out on the
September
21st?
21st. You heard it here first. Noon
That late, huh?
Noon Eastern.
Eastern time.
Bet the
4
farm.
weeks from
Not at all.
So
just
parlay.
like Coach. Parlay, right.
Parlay.
Yeah.
All right. You guys ready?
Yes, let's do this thing.
Guiding Emily originally aired on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries on September 8th, 2023. I nailed it that time. And it went a little something like this. I know what year it is. I don't. We meet a puppy named Garth that a guy named Mark picks up to train to be a guide dog. We then meet Emily, who is helping her boyfriend Connor with rock climbing. They go to a bakery, and Garth is there looking cute. Oh, Garth, buddy. Emily gives Garth some snuggles, and I've never been more jealous of a person in my life. She and Connor go on a hiking trip, and Connor accidentally kicks loose a big rock. Would you call that a rock?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I would. Would you?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
It was stone for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
But
go with
how
rock.
big? How big can something be until it's not a rock,
a rock?
anymore and it's
Like
a
a
boulder?
boulder?
That's a nice
Bigger
boulder.
than that.
I feel like rock is safe.
Okay.
They are rock climbing.
Yeah. Okay.
This just in. Brand, you're canceled.
Yeah.
For calling that a rock.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good.
This is going so well.
And it
today.
comes down and it nails her right in the face. She wakes up and she's in the hospital with bandages over her eyes, and her mom tells her that she just got out of surgery. She is told that she has to keep the bandage over her eyes for the next couple weeks. There's a chance that her vision will come back, but there's also a chance that it will not come back. This is a struggle for her. Living on her own, and Connor's kind of always just taking work calls and stuff. And so she decides that she's going to move in with her mom because Connor's just always randomly leaving. Garth goes to live with a family who is going to help train him to be the guide dog of his dreams. Emily is learning some stuff like how she can text to speak, speech to text.
Yeah.
Text to
Speech to text. Yeah.
use her phone with just by saying stuff.
It's not text to speak.
No, you're
Yeah,
right. You're right.
pretty
You're right.
clear.
You're right. Well, until
somebody
somebody
it
it
is.
is.
On one end.
On one end, it is.
That's not what she's learning how to do.
Well,
She's learning how to do it all.
She's
Do
learning how to
that.
speak to text.
Yes, and then when the text comes in, it's
Text to speak. Then it is.
Right.
Yes.
She did it though.
Just get back to it.
I just sometimes I feel like you just
Sometimes you feel like it's your 55th week.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And someone's making a big deal about it. And she also becomes friends with the girl next door. Her name is Zoe. One day, Connor takes her out to eat at a restaurant, promptly leaves her inside of the bathroom by herself because he has to take a work call. When she comes out, she's completely lost. Soon thereafter, Connor tells her that he is moving to Tokyo for work, and so they breaks up.
They breaks up.
They
They breaks
do.
up.
Them's the breakup.
It does.
She goes to the doctor for a checkup. They take the bandages off, and she still cannot see anything. Now, this is going to be her new normal. It's beginning to hit her. She's having a really tough time. Her friend Matthew from the rock climbing gym comes over and starts helping her around. She goes to the school for the blind and learns how to walk with the cane and kind of begins to live a lot more independently than she had been. Matthew is hanging around more and more, like talking through movies, and even tells her that he loves her. They go rock climbing again, and she's about to rock climb for the first time since the incident, and they kiss. Woo! Woo! She comes back to work first virtually and then in person. Garth is now a full-grown dog and is ready to be the guide dog. And Emily is also ready for a guide dog. So she goes to the establishment where you get a guide dog, and Garth is there. Garth sees Emily, remembers Emily, and says, this must be my person. This is who I am going to guide. And so he runs over, starts licking Emily all over her face. And she's like, this is amazing. Is this my dog? And they're like, no, you're actually on a waiting list. Garth is going to go to another home. But Garth isn't having it. Garth says, no, I'm not interested in doing my training. No, I'm not interested in being in another family. And so since he is a dog and we can hear Garth talk, but everybody else can't hear Garth talk, they don't know what Garth's deal is. But it hits Peter Benson one day, who is now working with Garth. Remember the person that he just went nuts for and was like licking her face? Maybe that's who he wants to be with. So he takes her to Emily and it works. It's a big success. He is super pumped. And Emily is now going to be guided by Garth, and she's going to be kissing Matthew all willy-nilly like. And that, my friends, was Guiding Emily. We did do it. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll break this movie down with 4 segments here on Deck the Hallmark. Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about Guiding Emily here on Deck the Hallmark, a show you can listen to anywhere or watch on Philo.
That's right.
The same place where you could have watched this movie and so many more.
How'd we do on the donuts for this one?
This one is actually surprising. You start with you.
0.
Half a donut,
Half?
actually. Yeah,
half. Okay.
So good for you. Probably for the dogs.
Yeah, I love dogs. Come on.
Me, 1.5. 1.5 donuts.
That was very kind of you.
Aaron, 0 donuts.
0 donuts.
Whoa, Aaron.
Brand
what was that about?
Just putting us to shame here. 4 donuts.
Did you not see the colorblind Christmas
Okay.
movie?
And also, did you hear the description of this movie? We
Yeah.
read
It
aloud.
It
by
was-
you.
Based on how Hallmark has handled...
It's a talking dog
Let's
movie.
see if I did hear my own synopsis. How many did I give it?
You went 4 donuts, 1 cream.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Let's talk about Guiding Emily. I'm going to start.
Down in love more than this. Just saying.
You did.
Just
You
saying.
did.
Yeah, but I creamed
did
this.
I.
But I creamed this, which
Gave
takes it
5.
over.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
In my mind, the way that I perceive this is creams are
The guy
kind of
that
in their
thinks 3 out
own.
of 5 is halfway through. That makes sense. Go ahead.
Yeah, it adds up to me.
It adds up.
Yeah.
Creams
I
matter.
do.
Creams matter. They're not
They
just.
do. They're
So
not
4 and a cream's better than 5 no cream.
Yes.
Wow.
in your mind.
In my mind.
Not for you?
That makes me rethink everything I thought I knew about
Well,
creams.
it's an interpretation.
It's
though.
an interpretation.
I
Your-
guess. I
what
guess
your
it is.
creams mean to you can mean something totally different.
Yeah, but 5 is just more than 4.
Right,
Why
but
would you give it
4
5?
because creams are worth 2.
creams are worth 2.
Oh, that's how you figure that one?
Come on.
To him.
That's
To
the
me.
dumbest thing. Just go. Just
To me.
go.
To me. Let's start with Mr. 55. Brian, what did you think about this movie?
So I am embarrassed at how I rated it, first of all. And I did give the 4th Down in Love more donuts than this one because I was a coward.
I did too. I gave the 4th Down in Love 1, and I gave this a half.
Yeah.
So
So
Yeah.
there we go with that. So Brand, kudos, man.
Thank you.
Really, you know what you're doing around here. I was just concerned about the rock climbing. We didn't get a ton of rock climbing actually in this. We got the indoor rock climbing, which was really great because that wall was a real rock climbing wall. That was real deal, which I didn't see that coming. That was impressive. So I really like this one a lot. This is one of my favorites of the year for me. This came out of nowhere. I had such low expectations.
Yeah, I think that's the key there.
Yeah. Well, the expectation definitely plays into it, but even still, it was way funnier than I expected. I expected sads and maybe some patronizing, maybe some explaining what it's like to be blind, like they do with the national park movies, just talking, just facts, spitting facts. But it wasn't that at all. It was very well done. They gave really good examples of what she could be going through at that time. The humor though gets me every time. Finocchio was born for this role.
Matty Finocchio should have a lead by now.
Finocchio is phenomenal.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal. Like that. Yeah, he should have a lead.
Yeah.
If we have anything
Get
to say
this guy
about
a
it, we
lead.
would
Pinocchio's
just,
amazing.
Get him a leading role.
that when he did that
No
high
lies.
five, man.
Yeah.
That high five,
Ugh.
the wave to a high five was I laughed out loud and I rewound it. I watched it multiple times. It was so funny. So I really liked it. One of my favorites of the year. I would watch this again. even though I think the expectations played into it, it's still it's the real deal, I think, in my opinion. That's where I landed on it.
All right,
More
let's
from
kick
me
it over
later.
to, are you kidding me right now? Oh my gosh.
Well, I did give this 4 donuts plus a cream, which takes up to 6. Everyone knows the rules.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. We've seen quite a few sad movies.
Yeah.
That I typically am just kind of like, it was sad. It was hard to get over. This movie was a really great dynamic of it being sad, obviously, but also hopeful and also funny, and also the performances were just out of this world. Sarah Drew was
cast.
incredible.
That's a good cast, right?
And I love a talking dog. I love a talking dog.
Yeah.
And so the performances, the feels, the talking dog of it all, knocked it out of the park for me. One of my favorites of the year. I teared up multiple times. I laughed out loud multiple times. Give me this movie any day of the week. Twice on Sundays.
Yes.
Loved it. Dano?
Yeah, I understand the wave of emotion surrounding this movie.
Here we go.
And
Here we go.
I will say it is not an all-out disaster of a movie that we thought it was going to be. And for that, it should be commended. But I think the expectation of it being just such a dumpster fire played into how high people are on it, because this movie's just okay. I think Sarah Drew is phenomenal in this movie and should be on our screens more often. I think Matty Finocchio is really funny. Antonio Cupo is looking better than ever.
Good Lord.
I mean, my goodness.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah.
Just went to
You
the-
want to know what's
the
something very
fountain of
interesting
hot.
about Kupo in this movie is, and I don't know if this has ever happened.
Yeah.
He was wearing a necklace of sorts that somehow made him more attractive.
It's impressive.
The style of necklace somehow
Aaron agrees.
it made his like neck pop. We were like,
I don't get it,
this
but-
guy, what a neck on this guy.
What a neck
Are
on
you
this
kidding
guy.
me?
He
Are
looked
you
great.
Like has that ever happened before where you've seen someone's necklace and gone,
No,
somehow
never.
that's elevating the
It
overall.
still didn't, but I'm happy it worked for you.
Yeah, it worked.
I mean, like I didn't.
You know
notice
what I'm
the
talking
necklace.
about?
Yeah, it worked. It worked for sure.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about out there?
Yeah. I said it during the movie. Love of the Thanksgiving Day Parade is one of my favorite movies, and he was better in this.
Yeah.
Like, it just,
The necklace. It's a necklace
I don't know.
effect.
he climbs
Can
rocks.
someone
and-
get me one of those necklaces and see if it
What
works
was
for
it?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It had like, I don't even know how to explain it.
I'll get it. We'll-
I don't
Let's
even
see
know
a
how to
picture of
explain
that,
it.
Yeah.
Kupo.
Kupo.
Get us that necklace, bud.
Yeah.
We should have all worn
You good?
necklaces.
Yeah,
We
good.
should have. People would have totally gotten that for sure.
We'll start over.
We'll start.
From the top.
The problem is there's a couple things that I didn't really work for me in this movie, even though the performances really did work. The dog should.
Boo! Sorry. Go ahead.
Are you good?
I didn't even let you finish. That's
Yeah,
on
yeah.
mine.
No, you would-
That's-
I
I
would
went too
never.
early. I
Yeah.
went too early.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
The dog
Use your nods too early.
should have never talked.
Oh!
I thought about I
The
felt
thank
this way
you.
at first.
Okay, first you've wasted you've
goes our
wasted Eric McCormick completely.
Oh boy. It's a pumpkin fight.
If you're watching on file, this is great. If you're listening at home, not
It's just
so
a
much.
lot of moving microphones.
There is, you're right.
That's all you hear.
The problem is that the dog, it's not like he has a lot of lines.
No.
And everything that he says,
Yeah.
that Eric McCormick says, is better if you just look at the dog's face.
Sure.
It's a better movie if the dog is not talking. It is the biggest, like,
Next thing you're gonna say is,
that
next
was a
thing it's gonna
fastball.
be, it's gonna be better if Jesus didn't do miracles.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
very similar.
categorically
Very
false.
similar.
Same thing.
Very similar, those two things.
Yeah, you're right.
It takes you out of this movie
Yeah.
on a number of fronts.
Yeah.
To have Eric McCormick voicing a dog for literally no reason at all. The dog is not a huge part of the movie.
The only thing I could think, because I felt this way, I wrote that down. Like the dog
Yes.
is not needed, but at the end you do get that emotional, like
This is,
That-
and I have a
that-
few issues with some of, like, there's a few wait whats about the movie in general, but I mean, obviously, there's not a lot you can do wait what wise just because of the material.
Sure.
But this part of it was so unnecessary, and it brings the whole movie down. I like, that's fine. You can disagree, but this is a movie that didn't need this. It didn't need it on multiple fronts. It wasn't funny, it wasn't endearing, and it wasn't necessary
Disagree
to
on all
communicate
three
the plot
fronts.
device. And so that movie really does, that part of this really does sink this movie for me. Every time this dog talks, and I'm not opposed to all talking dog movies, but every time this dog talks, it just made me like laugh or roll my eyes or completely take me out of what the movie was trying to accomplish.
So you did
And
laugh.
Sarah Drew is great. Antonio Cupo is great. Manny Finocchio is great. The movie's okay. And then the talking dog is terrible. The dog's adorable. The talking dog is terrible. And it's something that was unneeded in this movie, completely unneeded. And I just didn't like it. And so it's a movie I would not return to.
You know,
You
what's
said the
making me-
dog isn't funny, and yet you laughed.
Yeah. I laughed at it, not with it.
a laugh.
Interesting.
You know what's making me
Interesting.
feel better?
You're getting caught in your own lies, Dan. You're getting caught in your own lies.
What a tangled web we weave.
What
You
a
know-
tangled web.
You know what's making me
Yeah.
feel better,
What?
Brian, is that we're together. We're going to be able to move this up to real movie territory.
Don't even talk. You're you're saying what he's saying.
That's right.
No,
Don't try to play both sides of the
You
dog
think this
hole
is a top
here.
No,
five?
at
You
first-
think this
I don't
is
know
a
what I
top
meant by that.
five of the year?
Well, actually, there were some good ones up there. I don't know. It's one or two. It's got to be the first two rows. No, I was questioning why
It's
are they
real
using
movie
the dog
territory.
until that last scene where it's like you need that emotional reaction from the dog when he gets to hang out with her. You need that. And so I get using the dog the whole movie, barely, but using the dog voice the whole movie for the end. So it made sense at the end for me. But the whole movie, I was like, the dog doesn't need to talk.
It's
through
barely
this.
in the movie.
Yeah, it's not
It's
until
just
the
not
end.
a big part of this movie.
Right.
This movie loses some of what it's going for, in my opinion, because of the talking dog.
It doesn't take away from me. I'm still way up there on this movie.
I will say you wearing your hat forwards is losing a
Making
lot of
us
credit
worse.
for it. Like, put it backwards the way that God intended.
see.
It's
Like a
time
coach,
for
like a coach, you know?
It's
like
time.
like a sports ball person.
That's
player
exactly
would
right.
do.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
of
right.
course.
If you're not careful, you're gonna get traded. Well, we'll tell you.
Yeah, we'll
We'll
tell
tell
you
you
when
if you
you're
get
traded.
traded, and we'll still
have
let
no
you play.
say.
It's time for all the feels. We're talking about what those feels are. Brian,
Sure. I had a number of feels. I had to
Yeah.
narrow it down. I'm just picking one. There was a bunch of stuff that I'm like, I could use all of this. The scene when she came out of the bathroom and her boyfriend was gone, and she had that like freak out moment.
It's one of the most ridiculous moments
I-
in a Hallmark movie ever.
I thought she was going down
yeah.
the stairs, and I was holding my breath. And then when that server came over and helped her, I breathed a sigh of
Legend.
relief. I couldn't believe they didn't let her fall. I was so psyched. It worked so much better that she didn't fall and that the server came and helped her. That tension, like I was on the edge of my seat holding my breath.
I can't believe
What a scene.
one of the more unrealistic characters in movie history is a character that his fiance is newly blind and he leaves her just stranded.
Yeah.
I
Brutal.
that is not
Brutal.
That's not a real person. That's not a real human being. That was
Probably an
absurd.
important phone call, but
Yeah,
whatever.
it's important. You know.
That was a good one for me. Worked hard.
I noticed how just impressive a performance it is from Sarah Drew. The way in which she was able to give this performance for the first half of this movie with her eyes covered is really impressive. Like, because of the amount of work that the eyes do in portraying emotion and different things, the fact that they were covered for basically the first half of this movie and you were able to just feel everything that she felt was such an amazing performance. But when she finally when the covering comes off and she can't see, her performance there was just heartbreaking and a home run from Sarah Drew in this movie. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
So good.
Mine was similar. Guys, the Deckies that are an official award show, no matter what other people say, that we give out every year, and the double deckers get to nominate and vote on everyone. We typically end up giving the best lead performances to films that happen during the holiday season. And, rightfully so. Those movies are newest on our mind and they stick with us and they're the big show at Hallmark. But I think you'd be hard pressed to find a better lead performance this year than Sarah Drew and what she's doing here. It's really quality work. And in all honesty, saves the movie a number of times from going down a very schmaltzy road or a just a silly one with a talking dog. I think what she does really grounds this movie and does the most that she can possibly do to make it work. And I just think we don't get to nominate. We don't get to do that, Bran. We don't get to nominate for the Deckies. We just sit up here and read the awards. That's all we do. But I feel like it would be a crying shame if she was not at least nominated, if she or win. She should at least be nominated for a Deckie for this, because it's as good as I've seen all year. She's really, really good.
That was beautiful.
Thanks,
there
man.
was a subtle dig at talking dogs in there, and I just want you to.
It wasn't subtle at all. This movie should have known better.
Look at how
Guess we
mad
just
I am.
move on?
Look at how mad I am.
Yeah, he's angry.
He's working with his
Must be a
eyes.
South Pole elf.
Look at how mad I am.
Yeah.
I've seen you look so mad.
I'm so mad right now. I'm gonna take a quick break. We'll come, we'll come back here in a minute. So mad. Mad. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Deck the Hallmark. We're talking about guiding Emily. Where it's time for the wait what. It's where we talk about what, and this movie makes us go, wait, what? Brian?
Yeah, just a few from me on this
couple
one.
few.
Just
Couple
a
few.
few. When she first loses her, I think she's still having problems with her sight, where she's not sure yet if it's going to be permanent or not.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend, he's trying to convince her to go stay with her mom, and he's like, "We'll have phone calls and video chats," and I'm like, he's still getting used to it too, I think, because he's
Yeah,
telling her we're gonna have video chats with his flying girlfriend. And then this is more of like, no, they didn't. Shots fired at the people who have animals that aren't really service animals, but they're throwing the vests on.
Yep.
They're their support animal. I didn't see that coming at all.
And I want to be very clear. You can have an emotional support animal with paperwork.
Sure.
And that counts as a service dog. But there are people that throw a service vest on
Yeah.
a dog and say that they need the dog for emotional support without any
Different.
paperwork or
Yeah.
diagnosis. And I will say this. Bold move by Hallmark to
Yeah.
call out those people. That
Yeah.
was written down for me too.
Yeah.
I can't believe that Hallmark
Yep.
is going after the people who have decided that they needed an emotional support animal without a doctor's consent. Bold.
Yeah, it was. I was really taken aback by that.
Can't believe
Wow.
it.
The other thing is sort of bold is having a character named Garth and not having a Wayne anywhere. And that was just like,
I
wait,
feel like there's
what?
a Wayne. Yeah.
Just balance it out.
Yeah.
But
course.
other than that, I'm pretty good with it.
I only have a couple. One, she walks in. It is Friday. She says, corporate says we have to say Friday.
Yeah.
Fired.
That's when everyone should leave.
That's
Everybody should say, corporate, you can't make us say Friday. You don't hold that
We just
power over top of us. You can't make us say that. My only other one is I don't think that cars should be able to be as close to the trail that at the school for the
Yeah.
blind, where people are learning how
yeah.
to walk with the cane for the first time. Her mentor that's been training her for a couple of months now says now today's the day. Sends her off. She's got to walk back to the school by herself. She almost gets hit by a car.
You gotta learn though at some point.
I guess, but I don't know. I just maybe have the drop off. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but that's risky business having cars that close for sure.
Yeah.
When
They must have a
the
waiting
training
list
is
at that
going on,
hospital,
Yeah.
at that
and
school.
zooming by.
yeah, zooming
It's
by.
literally, they're all, like, they know what this facility is, right?
Yeah.
That's more on the driver, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not that
no,
bad.
I agree. I agree.
for sure.
Dano,
So a lot of mine boiled down to the fact that she was not given proper medical treatment. She has a great community of friends and coworkers that step up big for her, but there's this thing called an occupational therapist. They're real. I
don't think they're
in
real.
hospitals, inpatient, and they're outpatient, and they come to your home. And the job of an occupational therapist is to make sure you have the tools and accommodations you need to do the day-to-day things in your life that may be difficult for you, depending on your level of ability in any given, faction, right? So before she leaves the hospital, an occupational therapist would come and see her and be like, you need a cane. Like you need a cane, even if it's temporary. You need a cane. We're gonna set your phone to where it is always on for Google or Siri to be in voice to text mode. Like these are all things
And text to voice.
that an occupational therapist would do, and both would do. That's their full-time job. I know that because my wife is one. That's their job. And this movie basically treats her condition as though there's a gap in her life where she has this thing, and then if it wasn't for her friends and family and her terrible fiance, she probably wouldn't be able to function without her mom there all the time. And it just isn't very realistic, accurate, or good. It's just not good. And I will say that her community is amazing. Like this is the community that Jesus talks about, the new heavens and new earth. Like these people are like, you know, Karl Marx's dream, like everyone in one big community, like helping for the good of all. They're amazing. And Erin said this when she was watching the movie with us, and she had already seen it, but she was like, if I said I wasn't coming into work for a couple days and then I didn't respond to any texts or calls, how long would it take you guys to make sure I wasn't dead? And Brandon and I were like, yeah, a day or two. They wait a couple of weeks before they even try to go to her house. Like Matty Finocchio waits 2 full weeks before he shows up at her house to see if she's okay. And so once she gets the community, great. But it's like the doctor was like, well, you're going to be blind for a few weeks. Here's a $20 bill. I've pinned it to your chest. Best of luck out there. And I like, you know, and so you have that going on, which I felt like was just terrible. And then you have the talking dog of it all, and the community comes in and saves it a little bit. But yeah, the OT is a big part of this. No doctor would have discharged her without her seeing an OT and then having one scheduled to go to her house regularly and to give her some support. You don't send people home that go blind and just say, good luck out there. And this movie had to make the community feel better. And so they made the health system so much worse. And that's unfortunate. She does walk into a coffee shop when she's out and about, and the guy in the coffee shop goes, hey, girl with a cane.
Yeah.
And you're like, what in the world? And I'm like, maybe he knows her and it's a bit.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, were you talking to me? And he goes, there's literally no one else here with a cane. All right, bro. Are you late for a Bill Burr show? Like, I mean, good gosh, man. Like but just take a break for just a second.
The thing is like, I'm sure that happens
Yeah.
On a regular basis. It was just so jarring with everybody else being so amazing
Yeah.
in this movie. And then
it-
you get the one guy out of nowhere.
That's right. And I will say, you make it really tough on extras, background actors in this movie who are not allowed to make a sound, because if they make a sound, they have to get paid. So they have to stay quiet, and yet the lead is blind, and so they have to react in a way that they're excited to see her, but without making a sound. At one point, one of the extras looks at her and does a little prayer hands and bows. And it's like, buddy, she can't see you. I don't know who that's for exactly. And that was something. And then, that's all I got.
It's time for What the Hallmark. It is also the logo.
Oh,
and here we are. It is time for What the Hallmark. It's where we wonder what could have been. Maybe it was still. Brian, what are you still wondering about?
Something I was wondering about that I don't know if there's a right answer. Like, they did not show a scene where Connor, the ex, addressed the issue that he kicked a rock in her face and then she went blind. Like, should he have,
never ever admits to wrongdoing?
Should he have? Like, I don't know if he should
have or not.
Same here.
I'm not sure if it was his fault or not.
I don't know either.
But I know that it's weird that he doesn't feel any guilt about it.
It's never brought up. And it's
She brings it up to him.
she does. Yes.
But he never is like, man, I feel really bad about
like that
this.
hospital scene when she wakes up and
Yeah.
he's in a suit and all this stuff.
Yeah,
Clearly
never.
he hasn't been there.
Never.
I thought for sure that's the time where you just say, hey, Emily, feel really bad about kicking that rock in your face. We just go through the
Right.
motion. I don't know. I feel weird about it because I don't know. I don't know if he should have or not, but it wasn't even addressed at all.
No,
So,
not
I
a
don't
little
know.
bit. Yeah.
That's where I was just kind of up in the air there.
Fair enough.
Thanks.
I don't know. This movie sums up most things pretty well. I guess I'm quite wondering, the person who trained Garth was having a really tough time letting Garth go.
Yep.
And I know I've never really given much thought to the guide dog training program. I didn't know that this is how it works.
I don't think it's how it works in all. I think sometimes people bring their dogs in to get trained, but I think for facilities that are training dogs to give to people, you have to have someone around the clock because that's part of it.
Yeah.
The training happens when you're off the clock.
I just like, it was just like, it was
that rang the most true of anything in this movie.
Yeah. I can't imagine basically being with a dog.
Yeah.
They're not super clear on the time frame, but like, it seemed like, 1 to 2 years. Yeah.
It's a long time with a dog.
That's tough. That's tough. So I was just like,
through all those
and she's going to do it again. But like, does she ever, do people like that do that? If somebody's listening and that's what they do you get to see the dog again, or is that bad? Like, would that move the dog backwards to see the person? Like, what is that like?
Sure, it's like fostering a dog, I would assume. But I do think that is probably, in retrospect, why they made the dog talk, because it doesn't make any sense. This dog sees Sarah Drew once, spends 2 years with someone, and he's not mad at all about leaving his owner of 2 years. Dogs are pack animals. He would be depressed without seeing her. But in the movie, Eric McCormick, the voice, is like, I know that's going to be blah, blah, blah. So I don't care about this person taking care of me for 2 years. I'm just waiting to get back to Emily.
Yeah.
And so that bridges that gap, I think.
How does that work in real life with the when you foster animals, it's not usually for one to 2 years.
No.
Like, that's a really long time. Like, is that part of the training system? Like, how do you train a dog to like not attach like that? I don't know. I just had a lot of questions about that process, really.
Yeah. That's
Dana?
fair. I don't really have a lot here. I do think they do a good job of showing that like she's ready to tackle this challenge and she's met this dude. I also appreciated that they didn't make the love story the central component of the film. But yeah, if I had one, it would be about the dog trainer and what if that's something that she, she's like, hey, you're my favorite dog I've ever trained. Well, why was that? He clearly only cared about Emily. What
and
made
potato
him,
chips.
And potato chips, obviously. But yeah, I really
Chips
didn't have anything
brand.
else.
Yeah, chips brand chips. We did, everybody. Congratulations. We'll be back tomorrow with When Calls the Heart and then Fast Fridays on Friday. Until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.